Alright, so fortunately I have a little fishing spot in the back here. I haven't been fishing lately, but I figure since my family's pretty much the only ones watching at the moment, because it's a new channel, I'd kind of let you see what it is I have in my backyard down here in Florida. So it's a canal. It goes all the way down that way and down there, but if you go down that way, it actually meets up with, it's called the Turkey Creek, and that is actually the same area where I launched the boat and you see most of the videos. There is an awful lot of weeds, but if you can get in between the weeds, you can usually catch some fish. I'm actually going to work my way down this way. There's an alligator down here, but there's usually some fish down there, and then I'll work myself the other way, see if we can catch a couple bass. There's a big old gar right there. There's a couple of them. Definitely not interested, but the one's about 3.5, 4 foot long. Drop it right on his head. He did not care. Okay. Let's keep working ourselves down. Typically there's a alligator that hangs out down here. Depends on the time of year. Yep, he's there. We'll go up and see him in a minute. Alright, you guys see the alligator? That's a pretty little one. The one that usually lives there is a lot bigger. I'd assume he might be around. Sandhill Creek. I believe that's what that's called. I'm going to switch out to a worm. Famous last words, but let's go see if the alligator even notices I'm here. What's up, buddy? I'm sure he knows I'm here. So they sit out in the daytime a lot of times, you know, in this area, and then when the sun starts going down, that's when they go out and they start feeding. And he's really close to my house. I've got lights up and stuff, worried that, you know, one of these guys might try to go after my dogs. But yeah, I'm probably 20 foot from them right now. See if we can catch a bass. Yeah, I'd be concerned if I had like my dog with me, but he's really just hoping I don't disturb him. Or he's hoping I'll catch a fish so he can come steal it from me. Oop, had a bite. Yeah, there's typically a bigger one. I'd be kind of curious. He might be down in the grass somewhere. I'm gonna take my sinker off. You guys keep an eye on that guy for me, okay? So with all the weeds, it's sinking down too fast. And I'm not able to get a good presentation to the fish before it sinks down into the weeds. I'm hoping by taking the sinker off, it'll kind of float on top a little bit more, or sink quite a bit slower, and it'll give the fish a chance to see it and come over and bite it. Without disturbing Mr. Alligator. Little red-headed birds over there. Some loons maybe. Yeah, this is a lot nicer not having the sinker on there. I've got the hook set up weedless. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. Yeah, it's kind of nice if I just want to come out and do a few casts. I come down. A lot of times I'll catch a fish, or 2 or 3 or 4. You know, it's fishing. It all depends on the day. We got some neat wildlife in the backyard. There's a osprey living in one of these trees over here too. That he makes a bunch of noise. We hear them throughout the day. Something big moved over there. Pretty good current going through here today. Time we get rain, it moves pretty good. It doesn't get all the weeds out of here, but moving the water is healthier, considering all these plastic bottles and crap that are in here. I come down and clean them up every once in a while. They get too backed up. Yeah, there's something underneath the water over there. I don't know if it's a turtle or maybe that other alligator. Couple more casts here. I've got my camera. My other camera, I switched batteries out thinking I put a fresh battery in it. I ended up putting a dead battery in it. So here we are with the chest cam again. So what I'm doing is I'm letting it drop down, and then I'm giving it a few jerks, and then letting it drop down again. It seemed to be the way that I catch them typically. A lot of times it's when it hits the bottom, they go down and pick it up. So I give it a second or two. Sometimes I'll grab it on the way up, sometimes on the way down, but majority of the time it's once it sinks down to the bottom and sits, they'll pick it up. My dog is not happy. I can still hear him. Mr. Toad's having some allergy problems. Had to take him to the vet. His eyes are swelling shut. Alright, Mr. Alligator, did you eat all the fish over here? And why I'm not getting any bites? You gonna leave me none? Yeah, there's several of them in here. Further down that way, there's a spot where four areas kind of all go into one. A lot of people fish over there. I don't go over there too much because there's just so many people there. I've caught a few small ones that direction, but this is just right behind my house. This little area here, that's the road goes in front of my house. Pretty neat. Real busy road on the other side of those trees. And there's a school over there. But, ooh, he didn't like me walking away. Never turn your back on an alligator. There he is in the water now. Now, I've also seen plenty of tilapia in here. The tilapia get decent sized in here. Never tried to fish for them. I've got a little slingshot thing I've used. Got a couple of them. Head this way. A lot of little turtles. I bet you're wondering, if I catch a fish, how am I going to get it all the way up here? You typically pull them up. If you can get them up, you're good. But I do not recommend trying to go down and pull a fish out of the water. That's actually how it's a big old gar over there. It's actually how I almost got bit by an alligator when I first moved down here. I was catching a fish and went down and go pull it out of the water, and he come flying out. All he wanted was my fish. He didn't want me. Well, maybe he wanted me, but there's those tilapia there. They don't bite these worms though. You gotta have like dough bait or something to catch them. If he's on a nest, he might. Yeah, no interest at all. And pretty good sized ones in there too. I have found when there's a couple tilapia together, I've never caught a fish, like a bass, in that same general area. Seems like when they bed up, they chase everything off. Got some more weeds. Tilapia. Heading back to my camera with no battery. That was funny. I went to turn the camera, make sure the camera was on, and it turned off. So this is a typical size largemouth. He's about 12 inches, maybe a little bit smaller, but yeah, these guys, they've usually got, I don't know if you can see inside of his mouth there, they've got little worm thingies too, like on the top of his mouth right there. He smells like a fish. It's a pretty little bass. He's got a big fat belly. Yeah, he definitely been in there eating. And I'm gonna let him go, and then we'll go back and get the battery, since we know the fish are biting, and keep going, see if we can catch some more fish. I just gotta climb up that hill and go get my battery now. We got a new battery, back down the hill again. Ah, I made it. Okay. Let's head down a little bit further, see if we can pull out some more bass. Whether it's less.
Alright, I in fact am not catching more fish, so if you're here for that, you might as well stop watching. But if you're here for like bird noises and scenery, go ahead and stick around.
Probably haven't fished out here in 4 or 5 months. I just saw a little flash of something. So yeah, I started fishing freshwater, and then when I moved down to Florida in 2003, I got into saltwater, and a whole new thing, something new to learn. But bass fishing with a weedless worm rig, something you can always come back to. It always seems to work. And the fish are here and hungry, right? Can't forget that important part of the equation. Oh, missed my bite. Here, another chance. Now that I woke them up. Let's see here. Good place for Mr. Alligator to be hanging out. What flowers those are? Those are pretty. Just look like sunflowers a little bit. They said a little bit. I know they're not sunflowers. Ooh, spiders. And I don't see any eyeballs. I think we're safe. Maybe. Okay. Don't like being this close to the water, but there's not really anywhere else to stand. This is where I hope to catch.
And this is pretty much it, guys. Made it to the bridge, which is my goal. Cast it around a little while, didn't see anything. The water's not really moving that well here. It's moving better at the other end. But no bites, no nothing. Just made a few casts and headed home.
A few more bugs in this spot.